it's a little known fact that not only do we normally come up with the different beverages that we have here, but we also take requests.
Oh, absolutely take requests.
Yeah. It's even better when they're actually like a request and then they actually hand us the drink too.
This almost sounds exactly like the post that I just wrote for a podcast that just went up.
Does it? Is that what you wrote?
I wrote... We could talk about that later, but it sounds very similar.
Oh my gosh. Well, crazy enough, this fortunately was a request and was one that I was happy to oblige on. It was not given to us. So hopefully, since our dollars went into it, it's delicious. We've got a bourbon for this. Give it a shot. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Keith. And we are AboutBeverages.com. And the beverage that we are about today is the Dareringer Straight Bourbon Whiskey from Rabbit Hole Distillery. And this is aged in PX Sherry Casks.
And I actually had to look up, what is the PX? No. I was going to say, what does the PX stand for? We were talking about pre-show, like I said, not actually on our archive version of the show, but even before that, I said, do you know what that would be? And you actually did pretty close on your guess.
I was
in
the ballpark.
Yeah.
It's the grape varietal, which is Pedro Jimenez.
Yes. And this is Spain. So it's specifically the sherry that has been contained within those casks that are handmade. They get brought back over here. And this is aged in American oak. And then it's aged post in these sherry casks. So this should be very interesting. 93 proof, so not a very high proof, at least as some of the things that we've been having lately. But that's, doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that, because they are very big on with everything from Rabbit Hole. Sorry, I almost said Dareringer, but Rabbit Hole Distillery, that this is never chill filtered as it should be. So none of their bourbons are chill filtered, which means they kind of leave a little bit more in there. So maybe a little bit more body in this one. Okay. But I'm excited for
this has come recommended to you by a trusted source.
Yes, this comes very highly recommended by Berserker, who's always usually in chat. He also streams on Twitch, so you can go search for him, or maybe link down here in the comments. So this will be first time trying this one. Anything from Rabbit Hole, period. I've not had anything in this distillery at all. They had a couple different things at my local Total Wine. They had just kind of their regular straight bourbon. I can't remember what the fancy name was for that. If you guys know what that is, you can always let us know in the comments. And then this was the last bottle of this one specifically. Okay. And I was like, okay, this is a sign that I should grab this one.
Because Berserker was out talking to everybody.
He was apparently.
He spread the word.
Exactly. He'd spread the word so far and wide, I almost didn't even get a bottle of it. Do you want to talk about price at the end?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. All right. Let's just get right to it then.
The color of bourbon.
It is the color of bourbon. It does actually kind of have, for some, there's a little reddish in it too. Yeah. Like I said, there's a little added tinge of that. To what you'd normally, like I said, again, there should be a Pantone color that literally says bourbon.
Bourbon. That's right.
But yeah, little reddish brown in there. But to the nose?
Of course. Vanilla.
Yeah.
A little fruit.
Yep.
Some char and some nut, like some caramel or something.
Yeah, the caramel took me a little bit to get, but I got that at the end. Yeah, a little bit of char. The fruit definitely, I almost get like a little raisin or something like that. It's almost something a little darker, like a little... like maybe the candied kind of fruit thing. Okay. There's like that or a currant or something. I don't know, more like a raisin, because it's more of like that sweetness. Maybe that's kind of tying into the burnt caramel, because sometimes I get that out of those aromas as well. But yeah, a little bit of fruit and a little bit of alcohol kind of hits too. At least, we did just open it up, which sometimes I think can affect it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think, it's a nice complex nose.
A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, but blending well together. So to the taste?
Of course.
You're like,
No, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm finished.
The heat. No, there's a little heat.
There's some...
Could be because we just recently opened it as well.
There's some liveliness on the front of the tongue for sure. There's some nice little spice kind of going there. This is a wheated bourbon too. I forgot to mention that earlier if I didn't. Which usually those should be a little bit on the smoother side, which I think the finish is overall pretty smooth.
Yeah, it is. No, it's very smooth.
I get more toward the char and some of the fruit. In the actual taste, are you getting any of the vanilla at all?
A little bit, okay. But I do get but I don't get as much of the fruit, but I do get the char.
Okay,
some of that. I get that, and a little vanilla, and a little bit of the nut, actually more than the vanilla.
Oh, okay, really? Yeah, like I said, I'm getting a little bit of some sort of fruit. Like again, I have never, I may have had some of that kind of cherry or some sort of that particular grape at some point in my life, but I can't go oh, that's right there. I taste that. But yeah, I get a little bit of the fruit. The char is definitely there. There's a nice little sweetness. The spice is a little bit surprising, but I think that's not necessarily from the proof. I just think it's, probably it's mostly corn. And corn sometimes can have a little kick to it. I don't know if you know that.
Maybe
it's that roasted street corn. That they,
it's elote.
It's elote. They use elote and elote-based spirit for this. Give it a shot.
That's right. I'm good. No, there's a lot of flavors to kind of keep you on your toes.
Yeah,
keep
and
your palate on its toes.
And every time I kind of go back to it's nice that it's not like, oh, there's like, you know, there are definitely some whiskeys that I love that it's like it does these two things, but it does them great. This one seems to have a lot of layers to it, and every sip that I have kind of hits me with a few other little things where it's like, you know, because like on that next one, I got a little bit more of kind of the nuttiness that you were talking about, which I hadn't gotten on the other sip.
Yeah.
And then I got, I'm getting a little more of this. The char seems to be the biggest like underlying note that's carrying everything. And then it's just kind of what pops out. But that's definitely very tasty. Would you like to even register a guess at said price for this bottle?
$45. A lot more?
Yeah.
$90.
Now you're a little high. Thank God.
Okay.
80 bucks.
Oh, wow. Still, though. Okay.
Yeah. So this one's 80. I think their regular bourbon is like around 60. Okay. So this one's a little bit more, like I said, apparently there's a little bit of an XP sherry tax on there.
Oh, there must be.
It's like you've got the Metallica tax on the blackened whiskey.
Pedro needs his.
Exactly. Pedro needs a little extra.
Pedro
Jimenez, which is totally fine and understandable. But yeah, no, I think this is good. I'm glad to have purchased one. I'm interested to hear what my wife thinks of this one, because she likes. Like I said, she sometimes doesn't like quite as like she. I mean, her favorite is probably the Willet. Probably the Willet Rye is like one of her favorites. Which one? I think that one is not quite as sweet. So sometimes the sweeter ones can be a little more hit and miss. But I think this one has enough of the char, kind of like she's been enjoying the 1910 lately that we had.
Oh yeah, that was good.
So she
that
really
was more
liked
that vanilla nut.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
That with like a little bit of smoke kind of in there. So I'm gonna be interested to see what she says about that one. But yeah, if you want to see any of the other bourbons or whiskeys or scotches or anything we have ever done on our podcasts, head to our website, AboutBeverages.com. You can find everything we've ever had there. As I said, recipes, stories, whiskeys, videos, podcasts, everything are there. If you only want the latest videos, YouTube is the great place to subscribe, because that is the main place where we post all of that content. And we'd be happy to have you there and get some notifications. If you only want audio, that is totally fine too. Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes. If there is a favorite podcasting app that you enjoy using, search for About Beverages. You will probably find us. And on that searching journey, probably some other links are going to come up there for some other things we do too, right?
You mean you're talking about the social media thing?
Some social media things, yeah. Okay. Like I said, you know, some places we like to hang out.
The which would be Instagram, TikTok, which has recently been blowing up for you and us. I guess
it has been.
Of course.
It's a combined effort.
and Twitter, which is the one that we use most often to keep you up to date about what's going on here at About Beverages. Like just earlier this evening, I tweeted when we were about to go live on twitch.tv/AboutBeverages, which we do most Thursday evenings around 5:30 Pacific, when we get together and have some beverages.
We do.
And have some chat and have some fun. Also, throughout the week, Andrew's going to let you know what he is doing in the gaming world and what he's going to be enjoying while he does that. So for all the latest at About Beverages, follow us on Twitter.
But, as we always say, no matter what rabbit hole we go down,
you should follow us and give it a shot.